There are very few items that need to be spotted. If you do a lot of lead ups and they are repeated and mastered enough, and then you're just there as a just in case. There's very little need to spot on beam, especially because you can start on a line on the floor and then go to a beam level with mats and then take it down. And you should do a million till they beg you to do it at the next spot, so they feel super extra confident instead of you pressuring them. There's also very little need to spot on vault and floor because you can do enough lead ups down into the pit and things there that you don't need to spot. And bars, you do need to do kind of a lot of spotting on bars at first, but if you do more breaking it down, then it's easier to not need to lift them through the skill. So for these kickovers, you start with the mats high and then you kind of just start peeling them up down. It's silly for you to lift them through a kickover over and over again because they don't get the proper strength to kick over by themselves. So it's better if you just take a mat like is in this video and just peel it down little by little until they can do it on the floor. That's a lot better. When doing back handsprings, make sure that the block is not down underneath where a bra would end. You want the block to be at the bra level or higher, so they have to jump to get over it and won't jump to their head and miss it completely. Here are some over the barrel videos. That one is too low, as you can see. She barely has to jump, she kind of just lays on it. This one, she has to jump a little bit harder, which is really good for her jump. So many people want to learn a round-up back handspring, so a ton of round-up rebounds. If this becomes really, really easy and they can reach back fast and bounce through their feet fast, the back handspring becomes really, really easy. When doing the back handspring for the first time, you want to do it on a trampoline, down an incline, and in a soft area. So if they land on their head, it doesn't hurt when they land on it. So all of these things help gravity, soft matting, and the trampoline bounce. Then you can take it off the trampoline, but do the same thing, and then keep making it progressively harder. When doing a back tuck, you want to try to start with a candlestick first, and that's lifting your bottom but not throwing your head back. So hips lift, and then the back tuck will be a lot easier. And then you make it higher and higher. But the harder they jump, the better a standing back tuck will be. Lift your hips. Very good. If you can use obstacles when they're tumbling, it helps them go a lot straighter. So this isn't playing right now, but there we go. But you reach between the mats, you hurdle over something, you try to round up between and reach narrow, and then back tuck through the goalposts. It's really, really tough. When teaching a back layout, you want to try to start with back pikes because you don't want them to lay their shoulders back, because a really bad layout is easier to do than a really good layout is super hard. Stopping your shoulders and setting through the candlesticks. So try not to lay it back and do a lot of candlesticks and back pikes first. When starting to teach twisting, you want to jump half first and try to start everything with late twisting because everything gets early in twisting, so you want to start as late as possible and you want to improve the pop. So here's some pops. You want to go around the hamstring straight up and down and try to set vertically and not lean your shoulders back, and that helps you do a really good layout half. This is just a twisting drill to help you twist all as one unit. You see how our feet are getting left behind. You want to try to twist your body as one unit. Hips and toes are leading the way, not your shoulders. Another image of it. Make sure they're twisting in the correct direction, but you want your toes and hips to lead the way. When adding twists that are more than a half, it's going to flip you, so you have to stop your shoulders more. So always go back to those candlesticks and stopping your shoulders, pikes, and layouts that help you in adding on harder twists. Bars is the #1 place where there's a lot of spotting going on, but you could start with walk up the wall pullovers, which you don't lift as much, back hip shoot drills over a mat, stem rises, strap bar, floor bar, baby giants, blinds. There's so many things they can do that don't need spotted and get them to high level bars. This is an incline. It's even easier on a wall, so you want to try to start with something they jump off of and can pull over. When they're trying to get their pullover by themselves, you want to keep lowering the item they step on until it goes all the way down to the floor. Again, using their own strength instead of you lifting them over and over. We have had someone break their arm on sitting up. If their feet are not on something and they lift their head first, it can make them too heavy. If you see this with the arch up, that's not the correct way to sit up on a pullover. You want to tell them to duck their chin in, look at their belly button like this other one, round it in a little bit more. This does take a little bit of spotting, about 1.5 back hip circles so they stop vertical before they shoot. That helps them shoot nice and high. For beam, there's so many things you can do that don't involve spotting. You do tram pad training, negative space, level mats, floor beam, etc. Make a really wide beam and then you can make it narrower and narrow, but start on the floor. It's really good to do negative space and try to make it a little bit more challenging by trying to go between there. It's very difficult. For harder things, you want to try to go uphill and make it a little more challenging. Off the beam helps a little bit more with fear. So that way you start on the beam, go to a mat on the way off for any skills. And then you can do it off the beam to a floor beam is the next challenge. Then keep having them train with level mats until they beg you to go down. Just do as many as you can so they get super, super confident. Here are a bunch of obstacles that you can use in a whole bunch of levels. Doesn't block enough here, so then our legs hit the mat, which is a great obstacle. Makes you have to block harder. Oops, splitting at the wrong time, so you kick the mat. Cricket. It's best when the mats tell you you've done something wrong instead of a coach saying over and over. Be sure to email me at gymcats@gymcats.com if I can help you out in any way.